All right, let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and another Chiefs rookie. We've already obviously talked about a few of them already. Some of them are making big impacts, and yet another one is making a very good impression right out of the gate in Kansas City. What do you have for us, Miles?
Well, Nick, as the departure of Melvin Ingram leaves a hole in the Chiefs defense, the Chiefs, smartly enough, as they have this entire draft, pick up a player to fill that hole immediately. And that's in none other the player George Karlaftis. And Karlaftis seems to be a special player, but there's one aspect of Karlaftis' game that really stands out to Andy Reid and the Chiefs coaching staff. And I have a quote here. This is all you need to know. He goes 100 miles an hour, Andy Reid says, in walkthroughs, in practice, in everything. We've had to slow him down multiple times. He moves around well when he's in space. He has good hands, but his motor is probably the thing that jumps out at you. He just goes and goes and goes. He reminds me of like the Energizer Bunny. It seems like he's that guy that goes out on the field and like if you are thinking you're going through a simple walkthrough, he'll knock your socks off in a second. Like he just doesn't have any way of slowing down. He has one speed and it's 100% all the time.
Yeah, and I think when I look at a guy like Carl Aftis and having a guy like him on Kansas City's defense, I think it's going to be really important because you got a Kansas City team that obviously has been the most dominant team in the AFC the last 4 years or so. Probably even farther than that, even before Patrick Mahomes became the starter. They were winning a lot of games. When you win a lot, you have a tendency to get complacent. You bring in a guy like Carl Aftis, right? He brings in with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. He kind of lights a fire under some people a little bit. Because remember, their fiery leader, Tyrann Mathieu, is gone on defense, right? He's now in New Orleans. So there is a hole to be filled on that defense. And because of the big dollars they put into guys like Mahomes on offense, it's going to be these young, cheap guys that are going to have to take over that mantle. And so far, I really like what I'm hearing out of Carl Aftis, him taking that, taking the bull by the horns there and just being himself and bringing that energy every day.
Yeah, and furthermore, on this article on NFL.com, Karlaftis is asked to describe his style of play. In one word, he says, I'm relentless. He says, I can get after the quarterback. I can stop the run. I feel like I'm a three-down player. I'm an all-around player. I can do anything and everything that's asked of me. So I think I bring that to the table. I feel like I'm very consistent. I feel like my best football is ahead of me. I've only been playing for about 6 to 7 years now, so I'm really excited to develop under a great system with great teammates and just an overall great organization. So Karlaftis to me, he sounds excited to be there. Obviously, he has the motor and the skills. He went in the first round. He's a productive pass rusher at Purdue. I mean, this guy seems like a perfect fit for this Chiefs defense. Like you said, they need a fiery leader, and as a rookie, I think Karlaftis has the ability to potentially step in there and be this vocal leader on the Chiefs defense.
Yeah, and I think the part that he's obviously only been playing football a number of years, him originally being from Greece, I think that kind of adds another element to it, right? It's sort of obviously it's not exactly the same, but it's got a little bit Ivan Drago. He kind of looks a little bit like Drago from Rocky. He just has that extra kind of by being from Europe, that extra demeanor, that extra mentality. Because otherwise, if it was just some other guy that had been playing football his whole life, some of his teammates may roll his eyes and be like, "Oh, what's that guy doing trying so hard?" Instead, it's just like, "Oh, this is just like a meathead from Europe. He doesn't know any better. He's just coming here to kill everybody." Like that, kind of having that attitude and that kind of different approach to things. That just again, it adds a spark to that defense and just gives them what they need now that Matthew is gone. And again, another element to this. Remember when Karlaftis was considered by a lot of people to be like a top 10, top 12 caliber pick, and then he falls to the Kansas City later in the first round. I feel like every Kansas City Chiefs draft pick was just insane value. They keep getting quality guys later in the draft than where they should have originally gone. And Karlaftis seems to fit that mold just as likely, just as well.
Yeah, Karlaftis really kind of reminds me of, not size-wise, but just story-wise, of a few years ago, maybe even more than a few years ago, actually 2013, a guy out of SMU, Margus Hunt, who was from Europe. He came over to America to play football. He's kind of just like an athletic freak. He was like 6'8", 300 pounds, but he could move. He was a great track athlete. And people took a flyer on him, tried him out, saw what he could do. And, he was a freak, but Karlaftis seems like an even better version of that. A guy who really hasn't played football too much, but he's an athletic freak. He has the motor to go for days. and he's going to go out on that field, give it all he's got. And I think he has the athletic tools to, once he gets a better grasp on the higher level game of football, he's going to be unstoppable in this Chiefs system. All right, Nick, it's time to get your internet privacy back today on every device you own in any country you want. Don't let anyone but you control your internet. NordVPN keeps you safe from prying eyes wherever you go online with their military-grade encryption. Is your favorite Netflix or streaming content blocked in the US? You can simply connect to one of the many countries available with NordVPN and get the access you need.
That's right, Maya. So right now, get our exclusive NordVPN deal here at nordvpn.com/SMI. It's risk-free now with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, get that exclusive deal, nordvpn.com/SMI.